Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we're not going to do any Clojure coding, but instead we'll take a look what tools are useful to keep the code clean and tidy. So we'll cover three things today. First one is the formatter. The next one will be the main linter that I usually use, and I'll mention one more that's useful as well. And at the end, we'll take a look briefly into Babashka and how to write our tasks so we can execute them locally or in our CI server. So let's get started. I just picked one of the repos that we worked in one of the previous videos. It could be any Clojure repo really, and we'll create some tasks to run our Clojure code formatter and linter on top of that code and see how it goes. So starting with the formatter, I think this is the most commonly used tool in Clojure ecosystem, which is called cljfmt, and it's been for a while already. Yeah, it's a good thing with a bunch of options that we can turn on and off. Regarding the installation, so if you using Linting, you can follow this step here. It has a Lane plugin. The other option is to use the tools, Clojure tools. So I can show you how that works. So for example, we can run this. I already have that installed. So now if I run this command to run the check, it's executing the check now. And as you see, it shows the suggested reformatting, and if we run clj fix, it will fix our code and format it. So that's the one way. The other one is the standalone, which I think the best option available because it will be a precompiled binary, and it will give the fastest startup time. So yeah, I just suggest you use this one and basically have the cljfmt installed globally on your machine. So in that case, we can do cljfmt minus version, for example, and we have some version here. So the other thing to mention, I already have a video about the version managers. So I was using ASDF and then switched to RTX, which is basically the same thing, but different API. The idea is that you can manage different versions of your tools with a simple single version manager. And as it's extendable to have different plugins, there is a way to manage cljfmt and the linter that we're going to take a look today, clj-kondo, with the same tool. So my colleagues have created plugins for ASDF, for cljfmt and for clj-kondo, and it's pretty easy to use. So I'll leave the links in the description if you want to use that. But as I said, the standalone option, if you especially if you're a solo developer and you don't have to manage multiple versions of the tool at the same time in different repos, this could be the easiest way you can go with. Regarding the ASDF, the only thing we need to do is to create a file called tool versions, and now I can say cljfmt latest, and if I run rtx install here, it says that everything is installed. But for example, let's say we want a different version, so I can do, for example, like 0. I'm not sure if there is a version like that, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, so as you see now, we have downloaded and switched to a version that's specified here. But yeah, let's anyway switch to the latest and run rtx install once again. And now if we do, yeah, we're now pointing to the most recent version, cljfmt version, minus version. Yeah, it gives us this version. Cool. So the configuration is, there are different options for the config. If you use Linting, you can put your configuration just inside CLJ project CLJ file. The other option is to move everything to a config file. Yeah, so we have files like this, and let's pick this format, and we can create a file in the root, like so. And after that, we basically can enable some configuration options. So there are different options described here. Most of them are enabled by default. So as you can see, it defaults to true and here and here. And the last three are by default false. But I really like to enable all of those to true in my config. So let's do true, and then we have this split key pass to true, and this sort namespace, sort namespace to true as well. And let's now check with this cljfmt check. So now we have slightly more places that will be refactored. And also there is a way to add additional paths if you want. By default, it's src and test. We don't have tests in this repo, but we have this dev namespace, and potentially we can add that as well. So let's add ssc and dev here. So now we have 3 files, and let's see if we, yeah, now we have 4. This one will be reformatted as well. So let's actually apply the change. So let's say cljfmt fix, and now we see that files were reformatted, and let's add them to Git. Yeah, so we added all files to Git and committed, and now if you take a look what these additional properties are doing. So my favorite one is this sort namespace references. So it will keep our requires in a good form. So if we, for example, get this block and put it somewhere here, so now we have unsorted namespaces, and if we run cljfmt fix once again, it goes back to a proper sorting here. It's extremely useful in when you have like a large team with a lot of developers, because basically you don't have to think about where to put your new require namespace, how you want to sort that, how you want to group that. Basically rely on this tool to do it automatically for you, which is nice. Yeah, so other things are remove spaces between keys in the maps. Just keep simple one space. Really like that as well. And also, yeah, this not everyone likes that, but I think it's good to have. It's basically maps are always in multi-lines, but yeah, that's kind of personal preference. Cool. I think that's it for cljfmt. Let's move next to clj-kondo. I think there are multiple options how you can install that. So all instructions are here. Installation, you can run it as a plugin for Linting. You can even run it with Docker, but with Docker you need to pass your you need to pass your repository, your working directory as a volume to Docker, so it's able to update files on your host. And it's a bit annoying to work with that like that. So again, I basically recommend to follow standalone installation, or even if you're on the Mac, just use brew or something. And again, this option with ASDF plugin is available as well. So that's what I'm going to use. So in tools version, we can say now clj-kondo latest, run rtx install, and I should have clj-kondo now, version maybe. Yeah, so I have some version of that. So to run the linter, we can do clj-kondo lint, and we want these two directories to be checked. So we have as a C and dev, and linter is happy, but we don't have too much code here. Just to demonstrate you a couple options. For example, if we go and just add some namespace that's not used, like something like Clojure string as str. So you see IntelliJ says that it's not used, but this tool will help us to detect that and prevent like committing this code and pushing it to our master branch in a bad state. So to fix the linter problems, we basically want to do it manually. So you basically can copy this line and go to the place where the linter thinks that there is a problem. To add additional params or change default properties, we can create a folder called cljkondo and put config.edn file there. And here we can define our custom linters and change properties. So if we search for linters, there should be a link somewhere to all available linters. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, just to demonstrate something, I think let's go with this line length thing. So if we get this thing here and run this once again, now we see a lot of problems because there are some long lines for the SVG code and some hiccup classes. Yeah, don't really want to fix it now in this example repo, but that could be useful for your production applications. So yeah, again, to disable this, I think we can just remove that or just set it to nil, and it's happy again. Yeah, as I said, there are a lot of linters available. If you just click here and go to the top, we can see all possible linters, and documentation is really good. So you can go through all of them and check what you need, what you want to enable. And also there's options to exclude some macros from the linting, or set that a macro should be considered like something else, so the linter is happy and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's about the linter. And finally, we'll take a look how to create some tasks, so we don't have to run all these commands by memory. And the tool I'm going to talk about is Babashka, which is much more than just a task runner. It's basically an option to write Clojure code and run it in the shell. It's using GraalVM, which is like a native option to run your run your CLI command tools as a native image with a extremely fast startup time, so we don't have to wait for JVM to start, compared to something like if we create some Linting task or something like that. So it's really fast. It is same experience as just writing bash scripts, but yeah, you can write your code in Clojure. When I first saw this project a couple of years ago, to be fair, I was kind of skeptical about that. I just wasn't sure that we need to put Clojure in all environments, but I was really wrong. After I started using that, I just fell in love, and since that, we have almost all our pipeline scripts and all that stuff written in Babashka, and finally I don't have to remember any bash to be productive, even when I have to write some scripts. So yeah, that's good. But as I said, it's a lot to cover in Babashka, and it's definitely worth a separate video. Today we're just going to check the Task Runner option and just wrap our commands in Babashka tasks. So again, I'm going to use SDF, but there are options to install just Babashka globally. I believe you can install it with Brew or something, and it will work just fine. So if I do Babashka latest tx install, and I have BB version, yeah, so I have it, and after that I need to create a bb.edn file for our tasks, and let's just copy it from here. So we don't need any paths, and we don't need any depths really for this one, so I'm just going to clean that up. But yeah, you can add libraries, you can even add your own libraries here, so it's really useful. One of examples is in our at my company, we have like a library that has common scripts that we share across our projects, and basically in all our microservices we just require it here, and after that we have access to all our shared functions that we can use in the tasks inside our services. So when we have that, I think I can remove this as well. So if now I run bb tasks, it shows me this clean task from here. So what we want to do is something like app format, and we want shell, what it was, clj, yeah, so it's just cljfmt fix. Let's check bb tasks, and to execute that it will be app format, and yeah, all good. So let's say we want something like app format check, and we can say check here. So we now have this output, and same for the linter, app lint, let's say. So the command for that was clj-kondo lint cdef, so let's just copy this one and put it here. Shell, and let's run that. Tasks bb app lint, yeah, and we now have that. And also there is an option here in tasks API. We can create some other task that will run other available tasks. So we can do something like app check or something, and we can say, so we want to run app format and app lint. Let's see if we have it. Yeah, bb app check, and yeah, it's running both tasks now. So yeah, that could be your pre-commit hook, for example, in your Git repo. So you don't like pre-push hook, so don't push code to master branch or something without checks. That these same tasks could be used in your CI server to run the same checks for the format linter. And yeah, we don't have tests here, but usually you'll have something like app tests, and tests could be like unit test, persistence test, and integration test, and all that stuff, and all commands for that. So if you're familiar with things like makefile or rakefile, you'll get the idea. But now we're basically lucky to write our scripts in Clojure, which is really nice. Although like there's not much Clojure here, we just wrapped our shell commands. But as I said, Babashka is much more than that. Right here we can just write any Clojure code, like with some exceptions, because not everything could be run in Babashka. There's limitations, but everything that could be run in Grail VM could be used in Babashka. So that's quite a lot. Cool. The final thing I almost forgot is this other linter. So the difference between clj-kondo and this one is that clj-kondo is a static analyzer and linter. This one is not, and it requires you to be inside your application, inside a JVM. So it's actually start and evaluate macros and all that stuff. It uses this thing, tools analyzer, and basically it requires you to add it as a plugin, like a Linting plugin, or inside depcdn, like that. So it's a bit slower than clj-kondo, much slower, I would say, but there is like some difference of available linters from here and from clj-kondo. So if you want the most comprehensive coverage of your code, a good idea will be to use both, but maybe just rely on clj-kondo to run checks locally and have this step to run both linters in your CI server on your branches or something like that. Or if you don't mind, run it locally from time to time. That works as well. So you can add it, and you'll have checks from both linters in your service. Cool. That's it. I hope the video was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. That really helps. And also don't forget that there are options to support. There is a page in Buy Me a Coffee where I have a couple supporters now, which is really good. And I think I'll start a new page on the Ko-fi service. So yeah, there are options to support me as well. Thank you for your attention, and see you next video. Bye.